Okay, good morning, guys. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad you're here and welcome. So, what I want to talk about today, I've been reading this book by Ekong Tilku Rinpoche, um, Taming the Dragon. No, Taming the Tiger. Everything that's a tiger in my mind gets turned into a dragon. I don't know why. All right, and I'm reading a section on compassion. And I have to say that I really appreciate um, what he's saying about compassion, having compassion. Um, to build your compassion, to imagine the love between oneself and one's mother, or the love of a mother for her child, her only child, and how much devotion and time and care and attention and um, thoughtfulness and kindness and sweetness is in that relationship. Of course, we're the day after Mother's Day, and so this image hit me. And then, of course, not all mothers are beautiful, kind, and sweet, and not all mother child relationships are full of compassion. But you have to imagine the ideal one. And the way a mother, even a mother animal, like a non human animal, takes care of the young um, when they're dependent and needy, that really shows what they're talking about in Buddhism about having compassion, to treat other people as though they were precious and to be gentle and kind. And then he talks about also, trying to be more compassionate than you really are. So there's development on the path of compassion. There's, if you can feel and develop that feeling of compassion for yourself and then for others in your family, then extend it to your friends, then extend it to acquaintances, then extend it to enemies. You know, try at the very least to recognize that each human being has the same potential for goodness, the same potential Buddha nature, the same. And so is deserving of compassion, um, even if they're acting terribly. They're still not terrible. Anyway, I really enjoyed that view of compassion, and I think that it's worth doing. And it reminds me of my work in early childhood education, actually, where I decided that appropriate childcare was not just feeding, cleaning, and stimulating the mind, but also to develop compassionate, loving relationships with each child where they really felt seen and nurtured and understood and accepted as individuals and just loved. I wanted them to feel loved, like a mother would love them, you know? And it wasn't always easy because sometimes kids are doing really nasty things, they're excluding others, or they're ignoring others, or they're causing some kind of ruckus, and some children really are more difficult, like their cuteness doesn't overcome their drawbacks, you know. And it was at those times where when I had children who had really difficult behaviors to deal with, I had to really recognize that they're children. They have the same potential as any other child, the same potential for goodness and worthiness just in and of themselves, no matter what it was that they were doing. And that caused me to be able to react to their behaviors calmly, Not like, oh my God, he's doing a destructive thing, he's going to become evil, or he is evil and sinful, or whatever the old Christian idea was, you know. So I worked on developing my compassionate capacities with children. And then when I worked with adults, I tried to apply that same compassion, but sometimes I was out of my depth. Sometimes I think my compassion wasn't really helpful, you know? Like some things you are better left alone. And Akon Rinpoche said that sometimes, you know, it's better not to intervene. Um, Compassionate intervention, when you're not skillful or ready, you know, they get angry with you and then you get angry with them, and then everybody's angry instead of having a fruitful outcome, right? So learning when I'm out of my depth is something that I have been doing lately. um, when I started my graduate studies, I also secretly tried to love everybody. Maybe it's not a secret, but I really did my best. And sometimes it wasn't what was needed. And sometimes it wasn't received well. Um, I think people don't necessarily want to be loved by their friends all the time. So I don't know about that one. Sometimes I have to keep it secret, keep it inside, act kindly, act wisely, and keep my feeling of compassion and generosity and love a little more quiet, you know, so they don't feel smothered. All right. So those were my thoughts and on what I was reading, and thank you for listening. And may we go out in the world today full of kindness and gentleness. Okay, see you later.